Hi, caregivers. I want to share some very special words with you from other caregivers, dementia caregivers, who are currently on the journey or have recently been on the journey. And I have their permission to share it, but I'm not going to share their names. I moderate an online support group, and these words were posted, and they were just so very eloquent and so special that I thought I wanted to share them with you because I believe they can help you in your journey. All of them were about acceptance, which is kind of step one when you get the diagnosis, but it doesn't always come right away. But it's a crucial step, and here's how these caregivers describe it, and here's how it impacted them. Um, the first one is a gentleman who's taking care of his wife, and he said she had Lewy body dementia. And he says, we've been doing Lewy for nearly 7 years now. About year two, I discovered that for me, it was revolutionary to understand that my job in this world had become to be my wife's number one carer. This changed my whole emphasis about coexisting with my once very independent partner, and changing my whole expectation about what was going to be achieved today, tomorrow, or any day into the future. And then he quotes another person on the site who says this: I'm reminded of this, quote, one beautiful definition of mindfulness practice is wholehearted, unrestricted cooperation with the unavoidable, meeting whatever happens in the moment and making room for all experiences, even the ones that are painful. Acceptance is not capitulation, but rather a radical honesty about what's happening right now and staying present with it rather than spending precious energy trying to resist it or pretending it isn't happening. End of quote. And he goes on to say, it was revolutionary for me because it turned everything inside out and upside down. But it has made so much sense and has helped make the hardest thing in my life somewhat easier. And it helps to put things like the Christmas decorations, travel plans, others' expectations into some sort of perspective. This is my reality and the life I observe of my wife, and I am doing the best I can with that situation. Everything else is less important by comparison. If the dishes aren't washed, the grass needs mowing, the presents aren't wrapped or don't exist, but she is comfortable and is as well as possible to be expected, then my job is being done. And trying to savor the good times, as there aren't going to be as many as we'd hoped. She still smiles and raises an eyebrow if the conversation warrants it. I take lots of photos of her and write down funny things that happen. There's still plenty of grief and sadness, but when the time was right, it really helped me to change and understand my new attitude. We can't change lots of things, the diagnosis, others' attitudes, for example, but we can change our own. My friend's quote says it very well. Acceptance is not capitulation, but radical honesty. And then a moderator responds and says to this person who posted, you have well described how complete acceptance of your situation allows you to coexist with this horrible disease. None of us knows how to do this when we start the journey. It is learned as we go along. It reminds me of a skilled canoeist with years of training and practice who skillfully maneuvers the rapids in the river by reading the waters and finding a path that is the least dangerous. Those of us who are less experienced with canoes would fight the rapids, be overturned, be dashed on the rocks, and almost drowned before emerging from the battle with bruises and exhaustion. Dementia can be this way too, and it's worth learning to adapt and change every step of the way until we become like that skilled canoeist. And then another member in the same thread posted this. Life after dementia can still be living if we accept our life as it is. Not accepting it may lead to depression and sadness too hard to bear. Years ago, during prayer and in pain from bone fragments blocking the nerve in my back, I heard a voice within me saying, "When fear enters, and it will, praise and thank me." So I still try to praise and thank my God when I am too afraid, too lonely, too upset. Before I know it, I am at peace, and my heart is singing the praise songs. It has become such a habit now, I am praising and thanking Him all day long. People feel the peace in my home and in my heart. I don't realize it's happening, but others do. For that, I am grateful. Very, very grateful. Wow. These are some positive and eloquent and uplifting and encouraging words by your fellow caregivers on the journey. I hope you take them to heart. Maybe you want to listen to this again and just drink in what they're saying. The power of simply accepting what is and going with that flow. It sounds awfully simple. It sounds easy. It's not easy, but it makes a difference. I hope you will embrace acceptance as a caregiver. It can make all the difference in what kind of journey that you have. Thank you for what you do every day for someone that you love very much. You're making a difference in the world. And you know what? That's all any of us can hope to do while we're on the planet, isn't it? Take care, caregivers.